The woman behind Alaskan Bush People has finally spoken out. For years, Ami Brown, the quiet matriarch of the Brown family, stayed far away from the spotlight. She never felt the need to defend herself or her family, even when controversies and public criticism threatened the very empire they had built together. Ami chose silence, letting the world speculate while she focused on her loved ones. But now, after years of staying private, she has stepped forward to share her truth. Her words have not only surprised fans, but also reshaped what many believed about the Alaskan Bush People. And as she opens up, one thing is clear. This journey is going to be emotional and filled with revelations. The health crisis. Ami Brown has long battled several health challenges, many of which were kept private until now. Over the years, fans noticed her absence or frail appearance, sparking countless rumors and speculations. Yet Ami never spoke publicly about her struggles, until recently. In 2017, she received devastating news. She was diagnosed with stage 3 non-small cell lung cancer and given only a 3% chance of survival. The diagnosis shook her family and stunned fans around the world. Viewers of the show watched as Ami left the Alaskan wilderness to undergo surgery and intensive treatments on the mainland. It was a heartbreaking time for the Browns. Ami's husband, Billy Brown, revealed that there were moments he feared losing her forever. Ami's condition worsened at times. She would faint, causing panic among her children. But through it all, she never gave up hope. In 2020, she delivered the news fans had prayed for. Ami had beaten the odds and gone into remission. Her scans were clear, showing no sign of cancer. It was a moment of relief and gratitude after years of pain, chemotherapy, and radiation treatments. To ensure she got the best care possible, the Browns relocated to Washington State, closer to advanced medical facilities. But just when things seemed stable, Ami faced another frightening health scare. This time, she experienced severe chest pains that landed her in the emergency room. Her daughter Birdie took to social media to update fans, explaining that Ami's lungs were in terrible shape. Doctors placed her under anesthesia to give her body time to rest and recover, even inserting a breathing tube to help her lungs heal. Fans across the world rallied in support, sending prayers and well wishes. Days later, her son Bear shared encouraging news. Ami had regained consciousness and could speak over the phone, though she remained hospitalized. Birdie stayed by her mother's side, caring for her with unwavering strength and compassion. Throughout Ami's battle, Birdie put her own emotions aside, serving as both nurse and emotional anchor for her mother. Ami later revealed that she hadn't wanted to make her suffering public. It was Birdie who convinced her to open up, reminding her that sharing pain can inspire others. Birdie herself had faced a terrifying health ordeal when she underwent surgery for ovarian cysts, and she knew firsthand the courage it takes to heal in public. Together, the two women grew stronger, showing fans what real resilience looks like. The matriarch's early life-born Amora Lorene Branson, Ami grew up in a simple, peaceful household. She was never loud or attention-seeking. Instead, she preferred solitude and quiet reflection. Her early years were marked by predictability. She spent her days at home, in church, at school, or with a few close friends. Although her life was small in scope, her dreams were anything but. She imagined a future filled with love, purpose, and adventure. Life, however, wasn't easy. Ami's childhood wasn't filled with wealth or glamour, and she learned to find happiness in simplicity. Her life changed forever when she met Billy Brown. She was just 15 years old when they married, a decision that surprised many but felt right to her. Billy, who was 10 years older, had already lived through tragedy, losing his parents at a young age and being betrayed by relatives who stole his inheritance. He was broken and searching for meaning when he met Ami. Their connection was instant. Ami saw in Billy not just a man, but a kindred spirit, a dreamer who longed for freedom and adventure just as she did. Their bond grew quickly, and despite concerns from friends and family, Ami followed her heart. They married in a small, intimate ceremony, surrounded by loved ones and promises of a better life. Together, they set out on a journey that would eventually take them to Alaska. Building a life in the wild, Billy and Ami's move to Alaska wasn't just a change of scenery. It was the beginning of a whole new way of life. Leaving Texas behind, they traded comfort for the unknown. The wilderness was unforgiving, with harsh winters and long nights. They learned survival skills from scratch, chopping wood, starting fires, and building everything by hand. Amy, once a quiet Texas girl, adapted with incredible strength. She swapped dresses for work boots and embraced the rugged life beside her husband. Their love and teamwork built the foundation for the family we now know as the Browns. They raised 7 children, 5 sons and 2 daughters, in the heart of the wilderness. Money was scarce, but love was abundant. Amy worked tirelessly, cooking, cleaning, and teaching her kids how to live off the land. Her smile never faded, and her patience became legendary within the family. To her children, Amy wasn't just a mother. She was the soul of their world. Even before fame, Amy's hard-working, humble nature defined her. When Alaskan Bush People premiered on Discovery Channel in 2014, viewers immediately connected with her calm strength and nurturing presence. The show, filmed in the remote Alaskan region of Hoonah, became a hit for its raw portrayal of family, survival, and love. Fans admired how the Browns thrived without modern luxuries, relying on resourcefulness and teamwork to endure the elements. Over 14 seasons, audiences watched the Browns face both triumphs and hardships. Every episode revealed their deep bond, their perseverance, and their ability to find joy in simplicity. Amy remained the heart of it all, her wisdom and faith guiding her family through everything. The controversies, despite the show's popularity, Alaskan Bush People wasn't free from controversy. Fans often questioned Amy's parenting style, pointing to the tension and occasional disagreements among her children. Though the Browns appeared united on screen, cracks began to show, especially when their eldest son, Matt Brown, publicly distanced himself from the family. Matt's struggles with addiction became widely known, and his relationship with his parents grew strained. In a shocking revelation, he accused Billy and Amy of introducing him to substances, claims that left fans divided. Some believed he was speaking his truth, while others thought he was acting out of resentment. Regardless, his statements caused a media storm and effectively ended his time on the show. Matt later entered rehab, where he began to heal from years of personal pain. He has since chosen a quieter, sober life away from cameras. His story added a bittersweet layer to the family's legacy, reminding fans that even strong families face deep internal battles. Through all the fame, heartbreak, and challenges, Amy Brown remains the unwavering center of the Brown family. She's lived through illness, loss, and controversy, yet her faith and love have never faltered. To fans, she is more than just the woman behind Alaskan Bush People. She's a symbol of endurance, grace, and quiet power. He is not often seen with the rest of the Brown family, but this was far from the only rift that fans witnessed within the household. Among the Brown siblings, one of the most vibrant and unpredictable was Bear Brown, born on June 10, 1987. Bear was the wild heart of the family, fearless, energetic, and full of life. Viewers often described him as a wildfire because of his unmatched enthusiasm and bold personality that made him one of the standout figures on Alaskan Bush People. However, despite his cheerful and adventurous nature, Bear found himself in the news for reasons far beyond his on-screen charm: his turbulent relationship with Raven Adams. Bear and Raven first met in 2019, and their romance blossomed quickly. Many believed they were moving too fast, and soon enough, cracks began to show. After their engagement, constant disagreements and arguments took over their relationship, and much of their turmoil spilled onto the internet. Fans could sense the tension in their public appearances and felt their chemistry seemed forced. Eventually, the couple decided to end their engagement after months of chaos. But just before parting ways, they received shocking news. Raven was pregnant. Neither of them had expected it, and the situation left them confused and under immense media pressure. After much thought, they chose to co-parent rather than rekindle their relationship. In 2020, they welcomed their son, Anthony Brown. It wasn't an easy journey for Bear and Raven. They faced public scrutiny from disappointed fans who had once rooted for their love story. But after several legal disputes and court hearings, the two finally found peace and stability in their new roles as co-parents. Among the Brown siblings, Raindrop Rain Brown also drew significant attention. Born on November 23, 2002, she was the youngest in the family and quickly became one of the most talked-about members of the Alaskan Bush People caste. Her bright spirit and strong personality made her impossible to ignore, but it also made her one of the most controversial figures in the family. Rain's name first made headlines after a heated fight with her older brother, Noah Brown. Allegations surfaced that Rain had somehow interfered in Noah's marriage, leading to a major fallout between the siblings. The Browns, though loved by fans, were no strangers to conflict. Over the years, viewers had seen several explosive arguments among them, some even involving police intervention and restraining orders. Noah Brown, often described as calm, intelligent, and inventive, was known as the family's problem solver and mechanical genius. His quiet and gentle nature endeared him to viewers who appreciated his preference for privacy over fame. Noah valued his personal life deeply, so when Rain fueled online speculations about him, he was furious. Noah had married his longtime love, Rain Alicia, a woman who didn't grow up in Alaska but embraced Noah's lifestyle and his love for nature. They tied the knot in a secret Las Vegas ceremony in 2018 and soon welcomed their son, Elijah. Everything seemed perfect until rumors of trouble in paradise hit the media. Reports suggested growing tension between Rain and Rain. Rain allegedly felt unwelcome in the Brown family, while Rain didn't hide her disapproval of Noah's wife. Though the show tried to keep these tensions hidden from the cameras, fans noticed the discomfort. Noah made efforts to mend the family dynamic, but the strain grew worse. Rain demanded that Noah stand up for her and set boundaries with his sister. Eventually, Noah decided it was best to relocate with his family to Colorado, even if it meant leaving the show behind. However, distance didn't heal the rift. After moving, their marriage began to crumble, and soon they announced their separation. In a heartfelt video message to fans, Noah and Rain explained, "We just wanted you to hear this from us instead of somewhere else. We've decided to separate and take a break. We're working through this respectfully and wish each other the best." Following the split, Rain revealed more about their relationship struggles, including shocking details about family interference and an alleged restraining order Noah once filed against Rain. According to reports, Noah claimed that Rain had made violent threats and even showed up at their home with a weapon, leading him to file for protection. However, the court dismissed the request due to paperwork errors and insufficient evidence. Despite that, the incident left a lasting mark. Noah still blames Rain for the collapse of his marriage, and their bond remains broken. In the aftermath, Rain sought help. She entered rehab, addressing her long-standing issues with substance use and depression. After completing treatment, she spoke publicly about her mental health battle, but stayed silent about her conflict with Noah. Strong-willed as ever, Rain remained defiant and unapologetic, unbothered by public judgment. Her controversies didn't end there. Rain and her husband, Josiah Lorton, were later rumored to have faced burglary and trespassing charges, further fueling gossip around the Brown family. Amid the turmoil, Ami Brown, matriarch of the family, grew weary of the constant drama. She longed for peace, but the storm was far from over. The Browns soon found themselves at the center of another controversy, accusations that Alaskan Bush People was staged. Fans began questioning the authenticity of the show after spotting exaggerated and unrealistic scenes. Some pointed out that Billy Brown often dramatized events, possibly to boost ratings. For instance, one memorable scene featured the family surrounded by wolves, with the children howling to scare them off. Local residents later claimed no wolf attack had ever occurred, exposing the moment as staged. Another episode featured supposed gunshots that sent the family fleeing in fear, but investigative reporters uncovered that it was all scripted. The truth was that a neighbor had simply set off fireworks near a filming helicopter. Shockingly, the Browns had never filed any police reports, confirming the story was fabricated for dramatic effect. The Anchorage Daily News published findings showing that the family didn't actually live as remotely as they claimed. Their home was only about 10 miles from a nearby city, and a pizza shop featured on the show was less than half a mile away. Locals revealed that over 2,500 people lived in the same area, debunking the illusion that the Browns were isolated from civilization. This revelation shattered fans' trust, leading to widespread criticism and plummeting ratings. Viewers began asking tough questions. Had the family lied about living off-grid? Was their rugged lifestyle merely for the cameras? Amid all the chaos, tragedy struck. In 2022, the beloved patriarch Billy Brown passed away at 68 after suffering a seizure and heart attack at home. Emergency responders tried desperately to save him, but he couldn't be revived. Bear Brown broke the heartbreaking news to fans, sharing, "We are heartbroken to announce that our beloved father Billy Brown has passed away. He lived life on his terms, off the land, off the grid, and taught us to do the same. He will always be our hero." Tributes poured in from fans and celebrities alike. Ami Brown, his devoted wife, recalled their happiest moments together, like when they worked side by side carving wood. She remembered how Billy handled the heavy lifting while she designed the art, how he cared for her during her illness, and how he always protected their family. His loss left a void that nothing could fill. To honor his memory, Ami and her children held a special celebration called the Ballad of Billy Brown, where each shared stories of his kindness and strength. The tears and laughter that filled the event reflected both love and loss. Despite the criticism and questions surrounding their show, one thing remains undeniable. The Browns inspired millions with their portrayal of family, resilience, and survival. Ami, now carrying Billy's legacy forward, continues to embody the strength and spirit he instilled in her. She remains a symbol of courage and endurance, loved deeply by fans who still look to her for inspiration. Even after Billy's passing, his influence continued to echo through the family and the show. Ami tried to stay strong, not just for herself but for her children, who were still grieving deeply. The loss had shaken them all to the core. Life in Alaska no longer felt the same without their father's voice guiding them, and the wilderness that once symbolized adventure now felt empty. Still, Ami reminded her family of what Billy always said. "The wilderness teaches us that no matter how cold the night, the sun always rises again." Following his death, the family faced the difficult task of adjusting to a new reality, one without their leader, protector, and patriarch. The cameras kept rolling, but something in the tone of the series had shifted. Fans noticed the difference immediately. The Browns were still resilient, but there was a quiet sadness in their eyes. Every cabin they built, every piece of land they worked on seemed like a tribute to Billy. Amy took on the role of the family's emotional anchor. Though she had endured health challenges of her own, including a terrifying battle with cancer, she found comfort in keeping Billy's memory alive. She often spoke of his gentle wisdom, his humor, and his endless optimism. He had a way of finding joy even in hardship, and that spirit became her guiding light. "He taught me how to live," Amy once said, "but he also taught me how to love life, even when it hurts." In the months that followed, the Brown children began to take different paths. Some focused on their families, while others explored new opportunities away from the cameras. Bear continued his journey as a father, determined to raise his son Anthony with the same values his own father had taught him: strength, courage, and self-reliance. Though his relationship with Raven remained complicated, he often spoke about how becoming a father had changed him for the better. "Dad always said family is everything," Bear shared. "And now I understand what he meant." Meanwhile, Rain Brown continued her personal growth. After leaving rehab, she became more reflective and open about her mental health struggles. She shared her story online, hoping to inspire others dealing with depression and anxiety. While the rumors and controversies around her name hadn't fully disappeared, many fans praised her for her honesty and bravery. Rain began spending more time in nature, journaling and reconnecting with the wilderness that once brought her peace. "It's where I hear Dad's voice the most," she confessed in an interview. Noah, on the other hand, focused on raising his son and rebuilding his life in Colorado. He stayed largely out of the public eye, but occasionally posted heartfelt tributes to his father. Despite his strained relationship with Rain, he expressed hope that one day their family could heal. "Dad would have wanted us to stick together," he wrote in a message to fans. "He always believed that forgiveness was stronger than pride." As the family tried to rebuild, fans began to view Alaskan Bush People through a different lens. The show was no longer just about survival in the wild. It had become a story about enduring love, loss, and human resilience. The Browns, despite all the controversies and public scrutiny, reminded people that every family has struggles, but what matters most is how they rise from them. Ami continued to serve as a pillar of hope for her children and her audience. Though she faced criticism and heartbreak, she never stopped believing in the values that built their family legacy: faith, hard work, and unity. In several interviews, she said that Billy's dream was not just to live off the land, but to inspire people to live authentically. He wanted everyone to know, she explained, that even when the world feels like it's against you, you can still carve out your own piece of happiness. The legacy of Billy Brown lives on in every episode that replays, in every fan who found courage through his story, and in every member of his family who continues to walk the path he laid out. The Browns may have faced countless trials, family feuds, accusations, heartbreak, and public doubt, but they also showed that no storm lasts forever. Through every mountain they climbed and every loss they endured, they carried with them the unshakable spirit of the man who started it all. Billy Brown may be gone, but his voice still echoes in the Alaskan wind, reminding his family and his millions of fans around the world that life, no matter how unpredictable, is still a beautiful adventure worth living.